by Black September terrorists. Now, Mr. Speaker, at that time, there was West Germany. It was not yet a unified Germany. The West German police. How would our distinguished colleague rank the West German police as far as commando tactics are concerned? High up there, among the best in the world? Distinguished colleague?
Possibly, Mr. Speaker.
Possibly. But Mr. Speaker, when that happened in the two-day crisis, when they made an assault, 11 Israeli athletes and coaches were killed inside Munich in Germany, including one West German police officer. I'm citing this just to emphasize that anything can happen in a crisis situation, however competent the crisis management team, including the assault force, might be. Now, distinguished colleague, how would you rank the Russian police and military force among the best in the world? Maybe better than what we have in the Philippines?
Possibly, Mr. Speaker.
Possibly. Mr. Speaker, there was this hostage crisis incident in the Moscow theater that happened October 2002, where 850 hostages were taken inside the theater. They were surrounded by an assault force, probably the best in the world. They assaulted the theater, thus, and 850 hostages were taken. Would the distinguished gentleman from Pangasinan remember how many, whether hostages were killed during this assault by one of the most elite police and military forces in the world?
I cannot recall, Mr. Speaker, but I'm aware of that particular incident in Russia.
Yes. Well, for the information of everybody, 129 hostages were killed. Civilian hostages, 129. When the assault was made by probably one of the most elite assault forces in the world. And then again, in Russia, and this happened only very recently. This was the Beslan School hostaging. This was in Russia, I think somewhere in the Caucasus. Does the distinguished gentleman from Pangasinan remember this?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I remember.
Yeah, the Beslan incident, and this happened about 2 years ago, where 1,100 people were taken hostage, civilians. And when one of the most elite assault forces assaulted in order to rescue the hostages, would our distinguished colleague remember how many were killed in this assault?
I cannot recall, Mr. Speaker, but there was a number. 300
were killed. 300 hostages were killed, including 186 children. In a country which is considered to have one of the best police and military forces as far as commando tactics are concerned. There is also this incident that happened in Sao Paulo, Brazil. This was in October 13, 2008, when a young girl and a companion were taken hostage. This is in Brazil, and Brazil is considered one of the more advanced countries in the world, part of the so-called BRIC. Brazil, Russia, India, and China, known for a very advanced economy. They're taken hostage, the police stormed, and the 2 hostages were killed during the storming by Pakistan. It happened inside the Pakistan Army General Headquarters in Rawalpindi. 42 hostages when the assault was made. 3 hostages were killed. I cite this, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague, in order to sober up many who are trying to analyze yesterday's hostage crisis situation, in the process trying to pass the capability of the government, the Philippine National Police. It is true that maybe there are still a lot of room for improvement, and probably the best way to do this is to conduct, and I'm sure it's already being conducted, an after-incident analysis of the situation for the purpose of improving our capability. Instead of trying to think that we are so inferior and so backward in handling a crisis situation of this nature. And in the experience of our distinguished colleague, considering that he retired as a very high-ranking official of the Philippine National Police, what do you think is happening right now as far as this incident is concerned?
I believe, Mr. Speaker, that investigation is ongoing, not only by the Philippine National Police himself, but also by the Cong and the other agencies of government. And I believe that the incident report is required by higher headquarters as basis for further action as to the improvement of the systems and procedure, and as to whether there should be any responsibility by anyone in this particular situation, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, distinguished colleague. And in the opinion of our distinguished colleague from Pangasinan, a very respected police officer during his time, is there any way that Congress, this body, can help in improving our crisis management capability?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. If I may emphasize the need for a continuing support, not only for our